Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, did I see something? Daru? Why don't you talk to Suzuha for me instead? They were waiting for us there, as if they'd known exactly where we were going. Oh no. How's it going, everybody? HoodlaMutt here, back with some more Steins Gate 0. And last time, we finished the 4th route, which was like, what was it called? Promised Remezento. Something like that. Anyway, that was a very cool ending. I think it was my favorite thus far. Because we got to see Okabe get... he unleashed his inner Chinibyo once more and became Halloween Kiyoma to save the world. What's even cooler is that that route connects to this new route that we're just about ready to go on now, because he sent a D-mail to deceive the world into the past, which is what we're just going to be playing now. So he sent it from the route we were in that world line into the world line we're in now, so that old Okabe will hopefully gain the courage and the ability to change the future. And that's really all we need to know going into this. So this phone is definitely very annoying as it constantly rings here. But I believe I am at the first point here for the 5th and final route, which I believe this should be December 5th, or excuse me, 15th. And so we're not supposed to turn off the phone. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna not turn off the phone. So what I'm gonna try to do as well, once this starts going, I'm gonna try to skip and see. Hopefully, it won't skip over anything important. If it's like the first game, it should stop me if I try to skip through something that I shouldn't. So I'm gonna just try to catch the things that we haven't seen yet for this route. Otherwise, I think, otherwise we'll just basically be going through everything all the way over. So, all right, here we go. I should turn my phone off. This was getting bad. I couldn't even stand up. It'd been half a year, and things were still like this. Even I was surprised. I resisted the impulse to try to throw up again. Just turn off the phone. I wanted to get away from Kudets. It wasn't her fault. It was mine. I couldn't become dependent on Amadeus. This wasn't right, and I needed to stop. I was blaspheming Kudets' memory. She had sacrificed herself to send me to the Beta World line. I needed to live up to her expectations. I couldn't waste time talking to Kudets. I needed to accept the fact that I couldn't save her and move on. Cut the power and shut off this call. At least, until you meet Dr. Leskinen after this. Get Kudets out of your mind. Don't panic. Calm down. Turn off the phone. What is it? You know exactly what it is. It's rude to just hang up. Is something wrong? Nothing. But you look so pale. It's nothing, really. Leave me alone. It'd help a lot if you wouldn't talk to me for a while. Don't push yourself too hard. contact somebody you know, okay? Bye. Kuditz gave up easier than I expected. Maybe she realized that as an artificial intelligence, there was nothing she could do. Realized? I was making her sound like a real person. And the second that thought crossed my mind, I almost saw an image of a bloody hand. I gritted my teeth and waited for it to pass. I should really turn my smartphone off until I calmed down a little. I was fine just a moment ago. But now even hearing Kuditz's voice was enough to send me into a panic. I'd gone back to how I was half a year ago. Back then, even hearing Kuditz's name was enough to make me dizzy. I shouldn't have messed with this. I shouldn't have tried to chase Kuditz's shadow. For now, I should just turn off the smartphone. But, in the end, I couldn't make that decision. All right. So that was the first thing we had to do. I guess let's just go from here. I'm reading the mineral water thing again and it's triggering me. Yeah, so I guess I'll just skip until there's something I shouldn't skip. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, did I see something? I just gotta see something. Did I see something I shouldn't have seen? I feel like it would have stopped me, right? Oh! Yeah, there was something there! Okay, wait, okay. Okay, I have to. Yep, there's something there. Okay. I thought I saw that. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, never mind. So, I think I saw something that wasn't there before in just the quick little bit I tried to skip, but it let me skip over it. So, screw that. I'm not skipping anything. We're just gonna play all the way to where the next flag is, and because there might be things in there that I'll miss, and I don't want to miss anything, so here we go. I gulped down an entire bottle of mineral water and caught my breath. There was still a little time before my meeting. I wanted to get some air up here and recover a little. I looked down over the scenery below the overpass. The city was in the Christmas spirit. The atmosphere was charged with excitement. It was the exact opposite of me. I took more deep breaths. I still felt like I wanted to throw up. I was getting a headache, too. If I went to Dr. Leskinen like this, I'm sure I'd worry him. Huh? And then I realized that the two girls coming up the stairs were looking at me. I peered into the late afternoon darkness to try and make out their faces. One of them, the girl with the short haircut, waved. I knew it! It's Okarin! Hi there. Oh, you're Mayuri's friends. They were Mayuri's friends and fellow cosplayers. I think their cosplay names were Kade and Fubuki. I didn't know their real names. Which was Kade and which was Fubuki again? Are you okay? You don't look so good. I'm fine. If I made them worry here, and they talked to Mayuri, it would cause a big fuss. I didn't want her to worry about me when she didn't have to. I shouldn't have come back to Akihabara anyway. I'd run into people I knew just walking through town. I should have gone toward Kondo when I left the shrine. You always look like you're hurting somehow, Okarin. Do I? You do. Fubuki? And when Mayushi looks at you, she looks like she's in pain too. And when I see her looking at you, I feel like I'm going to cry. Wait, what am I saying? This Fubuki girl must really care about Mayuri. I felt a little better after hearing that. Who's the girl you like? The girl I like? An image of Cudits appeared in the corner of my eye again. Oh! The feeling in my hands when I took her life came back. No. Calm down. Okarin? I'm sorry. That was rude to ask.
Yeah, I knew I saw something. What was that? Yo, I knew I saw something, dude. Yo, he got a flash of Hao and Kiyoma. How are they gonna skip over that, bro? I knew I saw something. Oh my gosh. Yo, how did he get that flash in his brain? That's so sick. Okay.
Okarin? Are you really okay?
Yeah. I'm fine. Did that? What was that? That's the text, dude! Oh, he got it from Mad Scientist! Deceive the world. Connect the possibilities. The world can be tricked. Oh my gosh. I said that backwards, but I don't freaking care. Oh my gosh. Does he even notice it in this route? Will he pay attention to it? Oh my gosh, he didn't. Yo, how did he know to send it to himself here, though? Oh my gosh. Yo. Okay, alright. That's cool. That's cool. I would have missed that. The skip didn't save me, so I have to just keep going like this, I guess. Kade and Fubuki were looking at me, worried. I got away from them as fast as I could. Okay, alright. A lot of this will probably be the same, but I ain't missing nothing like that again, so I'm playing it out, man. I'm just gonna play it through. Oh, okay. Alright. Okay, I think this is the call that we get, because it's January 23rd. We're supposed to not answer the phone. Okay. So that's what I'm not going to do. I'm not gonna answer the phone. It's from Cudits. Maho looked troubled. I didn't want Cudits hearing this either. I didn't know what to do. And then I remembered. The world line where I'd spent a month during wartime. I remembered that the Amadeus Cudits was being used by the US military there. Yeah, so I just skipped through like multiple episodes of stuff, by the way, here. So we skipped through all the Christmas stuff, all of the taking Maho to where Cudits died stuff, the Fubuki in the hospital stuff, the wartime stuff, obviously. So yeah, we went through a lot of that. It looks like I actually picked the like canon's sort of ending, if you will.
right from the get-go, but just because I didn't have the all the flags of the choice flags or whatever, it sent me to Gehenna's Stigma. So this one should hopefully send me somewhere else. I still didn't know what that meant. I stared at my phone's screen. Should I answer it? Or should I talk to Daru first? I was really surprised to see you two knew each other, though. I wasn't sure what to say when I saw you together at May Queen. Well, I figured it out quick, though. You both knew Karetsu Makase. But Mahotan, you said you weren't going to tell Okarin about this. Did you change your mind?
It'd be more accurate to say he figured it out for himself.
Oh, I see. Daru nodded and grabbed some snacks off the table to gobble down. I put the smartphone in my pocket. For now, I needed to focus on talking to Daru. Okay. Alright. So I guess we'll go from here and see what's up, because that I think was it. I think that was what that was the last thing I had to do, I believe. Yeah. So I guess here we go. So, what did you want to talk about? You know what I wanted to talk about. I'm here with Hyajo. Show me the laptop and hard drive that Karetsu left behind.
Did you figure out the password?
I have no idea.
What do you mean?
I'm trying to tell you one simple thing. Stop trying to analyze that laptop right now. There may be something lurking within it so terrible that it will plunge the entire world into chaos. Hey! Are you listening? Get a grip, dude.
So, you're one of those, huh?
No! I'm being serious! This isn't about Hao and Kiyoma. Get a grip, dude. I have a grip! I slammed my hand down on the table. The shock was enough to cause one of the empty cans on the table to fall to the floor. Listen to me, okay? This involves Suzuha. Suzuha? You know what Suzuha's job is, right? Nakabachi's paper. That was enough for Daru to understand. Seriously? I've been serious the whole time. I see. Well, I'd more or less assumed that was the case. Daru didn't say another word. He opened a locked, fire-resistant case that was sitting on one of the racks. There was a laptop and a hard drive hidden within. That's it? The laptop was a deep red Japanese model with a 12-inch LCD screen. The hard drive was American, from a brand known for equipping its drives with a shock-resistant rubber case. The laptop and hard drive that Karetsu left behind. Just to double check, you weren't able to break the security, right? Well, you know how it is. No hacker can get through my software. Don't do anything else with it. I've been paid already, though. He looked apologetically towards Maho. She was glaring at me.
I asked this before, but what exactly are you hiding when it comes to Kedits?
Trying to learn the truth isn't always the answer.
That's just what you think. You won't even give me the information I need to make that choice.
It's dangerous! You know you were just attacked, right?
I don't want to be a coward who just hides behind her knight in shining armor. I'm a scientist. I don't want to give up on trying to reach the truth, no matter how dangerous that may be.
You just don't understand.
If Kedits was here, she'd probably say the same thing. Wouldn't she?
I was startled. Maho was right. I remembered having this same conversation with Kedits. It was when we were looking into CERN, I think. You're gonna have to tell her, man. Dadu! Mahotan doesn't look like anything you say is gonna convince her.
Yeah, it's not.
And it's probably more dangerous to be involved and not know what the deal is, right? Only if what you're saying is true, though. Dadu had a point. At this rate, Maho could very well get herself in deep trouble without realizing what she'd done. Just the fact that she was carrying Kedits' belongings made her a part of the Third World War, but she had no idea. That computer wasn't just something to remember an old friend by anymore. It was at the center of an international power struggle. Russian-speaking arsonists had forced their way into Kedits' home in America. Afterward, mysterious men claiming to be in the FBI had searched Dr. Leskinen's lab. This whole thing was on the verge of exploding. And people like me were nothing in the face of a war between nations. It'll mean telling her about Suzuha. Are you okay with that, Dadu? We don't have a choice, do we? I turned back to Maho. Hiajo, can you promise me one thing? You're a scientist, and, I believe, a very logical person. Don't let your emotions lead you into doing something stupid. Don't do anything rash. Don't be like I once was. What I'm about to tell you is hard to believe. You may think it's impossible, but it's true. So,
Get to the point. What is it you want me to promise?
don't get any ideas about saving Kedits Makase.
What?
Her mouth hung open, like she didn't understand what she just heard.
Save Kedits?
If you can't promise that, I won't tell you anything. So what will it be?
Does that mean it's possible that I could save her?
You may think so, but I'm telling you right now there isn't.
What did I just say? I can't give you any answer until I've been given the information I need to decide. Tell me everything.
I took a deep breath and began to tell her the story. Okay, I think this is different from last time. I told her about the time machine, about Suzuha, and about the Third World War, and about the relationship between Kedits and Dr. Nakabachi. And that was what supposedly Dr. Nakabachi's theory was actually based off of Kedits' writings. I told her that the original copy of Kedits' work might be hidden on her laptop or hard drive. And I told her that Russia and America might be fighting over it. As for how Kudets died, I decided to skip that part. Maho was silent the whole time I spoke, with a confused expression on her face. She looked like a girl who'd just graduated to middle school, and who was staring at a string of equations on a blackboard that were nothing like she'd ever seen before. Her expression didn't change even when I finished.
Is it true? It's not made up?
Maho was asking Daru, not me. Yeah. You can't bring yourself to believe it?
That's not it. It's just so different from what I was expecting that I'm having a hard time processing it.
What were you expecting?
I thought it might be about using Amadeus for military purposes.
Military purposes?
Kudets spent a lot of time at the psychophysiology lab. She said sometimes she'd been visited by people who looked like they didn't belong there at all. She said she thought they were from the Department of Defense.
Russia, the FBI, and now the United States Department of Defense? This was getting even more suspicious. Can Amadeus kill someone? How?
Well, for example, you could take the memories of a veteran pilot and copy them, then use them to control drones. And remember what I said about medical applications?
You mean copying memory data back to the brain?
Yeah. If you could alter memory data and then send it back to the brain, you could make soldiers who didn't feel fear, or who could carry out any kind of unethical mission without hesitation.
Wow. Sounds like a Hollywood movie. Did this mean reality had caught up to the books and movies?
My thought was that Kudets had found proof that they were running experiments like that.
And that's why they went after her?
Yeah.
Maho picked up the laptop. Its red body was evidently made out of some kind of magnesium alloy, and it was a lot lighter than it looked.
I never expected a time machine, though.
Either way, we should destroy it immediately.
Without looking to see what's inside? We don't know for sure that it's got what you're talking about.
It doesn't matter what's inside. As long as it still exists, it could start a war. She still didn't seem satisfied.
But it's proof that Kudets was alive once. It's what she left to us. We can't just get rid of it.
If you learn what's inside it, they might come after you next.
That's true, but...
If this wasn't working, maybe I needed to try another approach. Surely you asked Kudets about the password, right?
Uh-huh.
Amadeus.
Of course. That was the first thing I tried.
But it didn't work, right? Maho nodded. That's strange, right? Normally she'd know. But the Amadeus Kudets didn't know what it was. There's only one possibility then. Kudets herself changed the password without Amadeus knowing. Why do you think she did that? Isn't it because she didn't want anyone knowing what it was? Let's not dig up the graves of the dead, okay?
Dig up her grave? It's not like that! I'm sorry. You're right. Maybe I'm getting too obsessed with credits.
I know you really care about her. But you shouldn't get involved with this. This might not be Pandora's box. It might be the gate to hell. Get a grip, dude! Would you stop? Maho hugged the laptop tight to her chest and sighed.
Alright, Okabe. I understand what's going on. I still haven't finished getting it all straight in my head, though. I'll get rid of this laptop.
Thanks. I was so glad she understood. You really are amazing.
How do you figure that?
A normal person would just refuse to accept all this. Or, even if they didn't, they'd ask a ton of questions.
You're giving me too much credit. Usually, I wouldn't even bother refuting this. I wouldn't even listen. Normally, a scientist should never deny any possibility, no matter how improbable. But we have a tendency to put too much faith in common sense and our own theories.
Then why is it different this time?
Because Kudet's Makase is involved.
Maho's smile was bitter.
Time travel theory? A time leap machine? You're joking. That's impossible. But it wouldn't be impossible for Kudet's. She's always been the one who proved that everything I thought I knew was wrong.
I see. That's right. Her Amadeus login ID was Salieri. I almost said that, but stopped myself. It seemed to me like that ID held some kind of gloomy meaning to her as a scientist. So, what about my pay? I've actually already used all the money Mahotan gave me to reserve this month's H Games.
Dude,
you're terrible. Yeah. That's what I do this job for.
It's fine. I won't ask for my money back. I didn't expect much when I asked you anyway.
Just so we're clear, another 3 days and I would have cracked the password. Totes serious.
Sure. Whatever.
Maho smiled and turned back to me.
By the way, I want to see proof of this.
Proof?
You've got it somewhere, right? This time machine? And I want to talk to Suzuha, too.
Well, I don't know about that. Dadu had agreed to it, but still. I'd told Maho about the time machine without asking Suzuha. We'd just gotten into a fight, and I really didn't want to bring this up with her. But even showing Maho the time machine would mean I'd need to get Suzuha's permission, and that made it difficult. Dadu? Why don't you talk to Suzuha for me instead? Before I could finish my sentence, the intercom on the desk beeped. What is it? I'm busy now. His tone was the same as ever, but I didn't miss the sudden flash of tension across Daru's face. I've got a bad feeling about this. Hello? Is something wrong? Daru flipped through several channels on the security monitor as he continued to talk on the phone. All 6 monitors had been displaying the interior of the store, but now they showed the entrance to the building, the emergency exit, the corridors, the elevator hall, and the emergency stairs. So he had cameras not just inside the building, but outside it too? But this was no time to be impressed. The images were covered in white, snowy static. Okay, yeah, this is definitely all different now. I couldn't remember about the other section where they were talking about the time machine and all that, but this is definitely different, so, okay. But I could see strange figures on the screens. Who are these guys? The entrance to the building. The first floor elevator hall. The 7th floor elevator hall. The 7th floor emergency stairs, and in front of the cosplay shop. There'd been nothing there a moment ago, but now there were 4 men standing in each of those 5 places. They were silent and did not speak to one another. There were around 20 of them in all. Some were wearing suits, others typical Akihabara fashions, yet others were wearing military camo. Individually, none of them would really stand out in Akihabara. But the fact that so many people had all come to this lonely building at once seemed terrifying. Okie dokie. I'm abandoning this location. You bail out when you get a chance too. See you. Evidently, he'd been talking to the man at the front counter. He put down the intercom and looked at us. So, yeah, we're getting out of here.
What?
Daru pulled out a backpack and began tossing hard drives, memory cards, and other pieces of equipment into it. I'll take that laptop too, please. Maho stood there, blinking, as she handed him Kaditz's laptop and hard drive. Hey, who are those people?
Are they after Kaditz's PC?
Couldn't say. I cause a lot of trouble. This has happened before. Well, that's why I keep this job a secret.
Seriously?
Daru took the laptop and hard drive from Maho, threw them into the backpack, then slid it onto his back. How are we getting out of here anyway? They're standing right outside the door. It's a shame, because I liked this place. Finally time to say goodbye, huh? Despite his tone, his expression was still serious. He walked to the corner of the room. There was a life-sized poster of a golden-haired Vocalo? The heck is that? Stuck to the wall. Excuse me, Rintan. Daru carefully took the poster off the wall, making sure not to damage it. There was a glass door hidden behind it, which led out to a concrete veranda. This way. Wait, was that how he was going to escape? But this was the 7th floor, right? There wasn't time to worry about it. Daru went out to the veranda without bothering to wait for us. I pushed Maho forward and urged her to go ahead of me. The veranda was filled with junk, just like the inside. The floor was covered with old PCs and monitors, as well as old arcade games that were clearly broken. There was barely any place to stand. But that meant that as long as you ducked down a little, there was probably no way you could be seen from outside. Maybe he'd set this up deliberately so he could use it in case of an emergency. From there, we escaped like we were in a spy movie. We removed the board that connected this veranda to the next one, moved down to the room at the edge of the building, and then used the emergency ladder to get to the 2nd floor. It was an empty space that Daru rented with some of his acquaintances, and we were able to use the bathroom to escape to an unused room in the next building. My blood ran cold when Daru got a call that the men in front of the cosplay shop had broken in. From there, we planned to escape from the next building's emergency exit. The emergency exit there led out to a different alleyway than the one we'd originally come in, so in theory, they shouldn't have been able to find us. But we were naive. The narrow alleyway between the buildings was dark and deserted. They were waiting for us there, as if they'd known exactly where we were going. Oh no. We were caught off guard, and before we could run, one of them grabbed Maho. And then there was no way for us to resist. They grabbed Daru and me, twisted our arms behind our backs, and slammed us to the ground. But it wasn't the group who'd attacked us in the building. They were all wearing full-face masks, motorcycle suits, and leather jackets. One of them, the girl holding down Maho, was clearly a woman. There was only one woman I knew who'd attack us while dressed like that.
Don't yell. Do what we tell you.
I was right. I knew that voice. I could tell even with her helmet hiding her face.
Otherwise, she's dead.
She held Maho with her left arm and took out a military knife with her right. She put the knife up to Maho's throat. Don't do it! The horrible memories came flooding back to me. Whether it had happened in a different world line or not, the merciless voice that had taken Mayuri from me was right here. Wait, so that's Moeka? Are you sure?
Mayuri Shina is not needed.
I gritted my teeth so hard it hurt and glared at the woman in the motorcycle suit. I'll give you what you want, so don't do it. I forced myself to speak, and the woman in the motorcycle suit took the knife away from Maho's neck. She handed her over to one of the other men. And then she took off her helmet. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, it is Moeka! Huh? I expect... He really actually did hear her. It actually is Moeka. That means this is a CERN thing? What? No way. Wait, now I'm freaking out, because all this time I thought it was Yuki. Huh? Wait, so we've thought up to this point that it was Kagari, that it was Yuki, and that it was Moeka, but we almost certainly figured out that it wasn't Moeka, right? Because the whole arm breaking thing, unless that just wasn't her. I guess, yeah, because the guy pinning us down also had the same motorcycle suit on, and I guess Moeka had a similar motorcycle suit on, but it, like when she saved Maho in the second route, but like, I really thought that she wasn't part of this. Huh. Okay.
You're...
Moeka. Kiryu. So it was you after all.
Where is it?
Her eyes were completely devoid of emotion. Just like they were on August 13th. I was forced off the ground by one of the others. But my arm was still twisted upwards. I tried as hard as I could not to scream from the pain. First, let go of my hand. I can't even talk like this. Moeka slightly nodded to the other men. The hand that was holding me drew back. I could finally move again. Daru was released too, and he stood up, mumbling something. But Maho was still in their hands.
I'll trade it for Dr. Hiajo.
Daru, give me your backpack. Oh, right. Daru was about to take off his backpack.
Don't do it! Don't give it to her!
Hyacho, stay quiet. She will kill you. It's not just a threat.
But...
Would Kudits be happy if you died over her paper? Maho looked like a small child on the verge of tears. Still glaring at Moeka, I took the laptop and hard drive out of the backpack. This is it.
Hand me the backpack, too.
Let Hyajo go first. She didn't respond. Fine, then. I'd have to bluff. If you want the password to decrypt it, don't think about cheating us. I put the 2 items back in the backpack and handed it over to her. It was all I could do to keep my voice from quaking. Nobody can boot this thing up without the right password. Hackers all over the world have tried and failed. I'll tell you once our safety is guaranteed. I don't want to get killed the moment we hand it over. Of course, I had no clue what the password was. If they found out, we were doomed. Daru was giving me a questioning glance. I ignored it. Keep your darn mouth shut, Daru.
You're right.
All right. She fell for it. That meant...
Then one of you is coming with me.
Huh?
We'll let 2 of you go immediately. If the password is correct, we'll let the other one go as well.
Crap. That's not good enough. No. We can't be sure the one who stays will be safe.
Then all 3 of you come with us.
This woman! I could feel a cold sweat on my back. I'd never been involved in a life or death deal before, and I had no idea what to do next.
Iteru Hashida, come this way.
What? Me?
We're told you're a specialist. Bring the backpack over here.
No,
If you come, we'll leave the other 2 here.
Wait! Then I'll go. That's fine, right?
My superiors told me nothing about you. I can't even say if you really know the password.
Darn. She saw through me. Moeka put the knife back to Maho's neck.
Iteru Hashida. Come, quickly.
I'd rather hear that line said in a more erotic situation. Daru was joking, but his whole body was shaking. What do I do? They were going to kill Daru. I thought as fast and as hard as I could, but nothing came to me. In this world line, Daru was going to live until 2036 and complete the time machine. That much was clear from Suzuha's testimony. If the world lines were going to converge, even if Moeka took Daru here, he wouldn't be killed. Right? No. But that didn't mean I could leave him here. One of the men with Moeka was looking at his watch. She noticed it too. They might have felt they were taking too much time with a kidnapping done in broad daylight. I hoped that somebody might wander by, but there was no counting on that stroke of luck. I needed to solve this myself instead of relying on others.
Do I need to kill someone first?
I felt a cold knife pressed hard against my corroded artery. Okarin!
No!
Daru and Maho were screaming, but suddenly it all seemed unreal, like it was taking place in a distant world. They say that's what happens whenever someone is confronted with their own death, and it was happening to me now. I can't die either way, right? I tried asking myself that. I tried asking Suzuha, even though she wasn't here. I tried asking the world. Of course, nobody answered. The fact that I might not die didn't mean I could do something stupid here. A normal college kid like me would be too scared to move once they had a knife to their neck. I'd seen people die many times, and I'd almost been killed, but I never did get used to it. Thoughts of Keditz's blood came back into my mind, and I almost suffered a flashback. My body shook, and it was all I could do to keep from collapsing to the ground. Was there nothing else I could do? Oh! Just when I was about to give up, a black van pulled up and braked hard at one end of the alley, blocking us in. The sliding door opened, and out poured men carrying assault rifles. They were all wearing gray military uniforms and face masks. Their eyes were the eyes of trained soldiers. From their huge frames and the color of their skin, it was clear that they weren't Japanese. I immediately realized that this was all real. It wasn't cosplay or anything like that. Those guns were real, and a battle was about to begin. My experience with the August 13th attack and the war zone I'd lived in until only a few days ago came back to me. Everyone hide! It didn't matter who was friend or foe. Moeka moved the instant I spoke. She saw the attackers and jumped into the shadow of a nearby building. The other rounders spread out too. They let go of Maho, who was standing up, confused, in the middle of the alley. Maho, get down! The man who was holding me was the only one who reacted a bit too slowly. There was a sharp noise, and a bullet went through the helmet of the rounder who was holding a knife to my throat. As he went down, I went down with him, and I hit the ground hard. The impact made me let go of Daru's backpack. One of the other rounders grabbed it off the ground and ran in the opposite direction of the van. A man got out of the van, evidently the commander, and barked orders in what sounded like Russian. One of the soldiers turned their gun on the fleeing rounder. Her body flew up off the ground as both she and the backpack were torn open. The contents of the backpack fell to the ground, scattering across the asphalt. The laptop and hard drive were hit with more gunfire than possibly could have been necessary. Keditz's laptop and hard drive were turned to unrecognizable scrap in just a few seconds. Oh, wow, okay. So, that's good. That's what we wanted, right? We wanted that destroyed. That's gotta be good, right? I crawled behind a light pole without even bothering to look. It really all happened in an instant. I looked around, and the Russian soldiers were running toward us. Moeka and her rounders had vanished at some point, leaving only the two bodies. The soldiers silently recovered the remains of the laptop and hard disk, picked up the bodies of the two rounders, and got right back in their van. They didn't even pause to look at us. There were only a couple of minutes between the time when they arrived and when they left. Wait, are they going to try to put it back together? He said they turned it into scrap, right? Can they even salvage it? All that were left were little fragments lying on the ground. The blood from two bodies. Maho, who was lying on the ground and shaking. Daru, who who was standing in shock behind one of the buildings, and me, lying on the ground. My heart had been pounding the whole time. I only felt the pain in my neck after it was all over. Evidently, the knife had cut me a little when I'd fallen. A while later, we finally heard the sirens of a police car. And it was only then I remembered that I was in Akihabara, Japan. The Third World War may have started long ago, and we just didn't know it. I realized that, in the face of a war between nations, we truly were powerless. Akihabara was in an uproar. There were lots of helicopters in the sky that probably belonged to the media. We escaped to the lab, making sure that no one was following us. It hadn't been that long since we were attacked at the hotel. If the cops found us at the scene of another crime like that, they'd be suspicious for sure. So we ran before the police arrived. Suzuha wasn't at the lab. Maybe she'd sensed what was going on outside and went to check on the time machine. We held our breath and waited. It felt like if we let anyone know we were here, more scary people would burst down the door and charge in.
Hashida, do you have any towels here?
Yeah, in the washroom. Maho nodded and brought a new towel from the washroom. She handed it to me.
Okabe, your neck's bleeding. Put this on it.
Huh? Oh, thanks. My neck was wet with blood. Fortunately, it wasn't a deep wound, so it wasn't long before it stopped. After handing me the towel, Maho sat down right on the floor and didn't move. I know how she felt, especially since this was the second time she'd been attacked. And this time, people had died right in front of her. You okay, Hiajo?
Yeah.
She nodded hesitantly, but her face was deathly pale. And I realized that she'd been clutching her left hand into a fist this whole time, and there was blood coming out of it. Did you get hurt? Show me.
Huh? Oh.
Evidently, she hadn't noticed she'd been hurt. She was looking at her left hand, confused.
Huh?
What's wrong?
My fingers won't move. That's strange.
Maho had been holding some small fragment in her left hand. Her hand was frozen around it and wouldn't move. Soon it started to shake. I grabbed her hand and forced open her fingers one by one. Whatever it was, she'd been clutching it so tightly that she'd cut off the blood flow to her fingers. They were very cold. When I finally forced her hand open, the thing she was holding fell to the floor. What was it? I picked it up.
Oh.
Oh. It was a red piece of magnesium alloy. It was a piece of Karitsa's laptop. She must have grabbed it off the ground when she was running away. If she held something so sharp tightly for so long, of course she was going to bleed. I returned it to Maho without a word. She took the broken fragment and cradled it in her hands, then stared at it with an empty expression. Suddenly, a single line of tears dripped down her cheek. After that, it didn't stop. She continued to sob.
Credits. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I couldn't protect you. I'm so sorry.
It was as if that tiny fragment was Cudits herself. She held it to her chest and kept crying. Hyacho. I'm sure Cudits feels relieved.
Huh?
She's glad you're safe. So you don't need to apologize. There's nothing to apologize about. She didn't respond. Instead, a phone started to vibrate.
Oh. It's mine.
Maho took out her cell phone and looked at the message she received.
It's from Dr. Leskinen.
What's wrong?
He says the office and hotels were ransacked. His and mine. They're a mess, he says.
I see. Whether it was the Rounders, the Russians, or whoever had first surrounded the cosplay shop, they must have been after Cudits' laptop and hard drive. There's no backup of that computer's data, right?
That's right.
Then this is for the best. What Cudits left behind won't be used as a tool to kill billions of people. In the end, I got what I wanted. The data was destroyed before anyone got their hands on it. Yeah, okay, so that's what I thought, but they still took it. I guess they're going to try to salvage it. But hopefully they can't. There was so little left that I was sure there would be no way to restore it. Wait, why'd the Russians destroy that computer? Didn't they want to get their hands on it? Russia's in the lead in the race for the time machine right now. From their perspective, it'd be great if they could get the laptop. But they'd probably rather destroy it than let someone else get their hands on it, right? They probably wanted to avoid a protracted gunfight with the Rounders in broad daylight in Japan. The cold way they made their decisions made me shiver. They really were professional soldiers. An amateur couldn't do that. So what do we do now? I'd rather not stay here if I can avoid it. Russia might not know about this place, but Moeka might. If the Rounders were on the move, then Tanoji downstairs might be involved too. We'll move at sunset. It would have been great if Suzuha had come back, but I couldn't get in touch with her.